a warm welcome to tonight's Sleepy Collection. What you are about to experience is a series of snippets from exclusive stories, where the full versions are available on my Patreon page. If you like what you hear, then you can join our wonderful community at patreon.com/sleepycatmeditations. There are already 20 exclusive tracks available, and there is so much more on the way. I also have live readings every month, listeners writing competitions, and over 100 tracks available ad-free. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who have already supported Sleepy Cat. You really do make the dream a reality. And now, before we begin, we will do a short guided breathing pattern called 3-4-5. This will allow you to slow down and relax, preparing your body and your mind for a wonderful, peaceful rest. When you are ready, breathe in through the nose for 3. Hold for 4. And breathe out for 5. Let all of it go now. Again, that's in for 3. Hold for 4. And release, blowing away the thoughts of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Again, in for 3. Hold. And let it go. Continue to breathe in this way in your own time, and with each breath out, allow your body to sink just that bit deeper. And gradually allow the breath to fall back into a natural rhythm. Enjoy this new peace flowing through your body. And now, I hope you enjoy tonight's collection. As you enter the world of the burrow, you recognize every little detail. The cooking pots washing up by themselves. The long wooden trestle table with chairs as unique as those that occupy them every night for dinner. The crooked windows are wide open, and a fresh spring air drifts into the house. and perched by one of the windows is a very scruffy owl. Their head weaves left to right as they peer out into the countryside. Floating above the burning stove is a perfectly plump orange teapot, shaped like a pumpkin and bubbling away gently as the dark green lid rattles from the steam. Over on the armchair that is perched by the fire in the lounge, you see a thick woolly scarf of red and gold being knitted. The needles work away on their own, much faster than any muggle hands could work. You take in all of the wonderful little details, and with a slow, satisfied sigh, you simply smile. You are finally home. "Oh, hello, my dear," you hear from behind, and you turn to see the kind face of Mrs. Weasley smiling at you with her motherly warmth as she gives you a great big hug. "You're early, you know, but lucky for you, the kettle is just boiling. You take a seat in the lounge, make yourself comfortable, and I'll be right out with the tea." She squeezes your cheek affectionately and shuffles away to the stove, humming a happy tune. You make your way through the kitchen, under the stone archway, and into the lounge. The room is filled with wonky bookshelves, each one on a slightly different angle. There are 2 enormous sofas and 2 armchairs in each corner, one with the knitting needles and the other vacant. The big red sofa seems to beckon to you, lulling you to come closer and sink into its magical embrace. As you sit, you feel your weight being absorbed by these plump cushions, and the blankets on the sofa lift up by themselves and gently wrap around your body, welcoming you to the burrow once again. The fire gurgles away in front of you, and already this perfect little paradise fills you with the most peaceful tranquility. You let your head fall back and simply allow all the wonderful sounds of the burrow to swirl around you like little pockets of enchantment. Mrs. Weasley reappears, shuffling through the archway, and she is followed by a small wooden tray that carries 2 steaming mugs. With a delicate wave of her wand, she lifts up one of the mugs, and it floats effortlessly into your hands. Your palms warm instantly, and the aromas of chamomile, lavender, and honey weave together, creating a beautiful concoction, one that makes your eyes feel heavy and your blinks become slower and slower. "Drink up, dearie," Mrs. Weasley says, stroking your head. "It'll do you the world of good." Very slowly now, you lift the mug to your lips and take your first sip. The magic of motherly love is perhaps the most powerful of all, and you can feel it flowing through this tea and flowing through you now. as you go deeper into this world of comfort, you can allow your body to become heavy, your mind to soften, and your imagination to unlock as you venture into the enchanted English countryside. A fresh, healing air greets you now, and as you open your eyes, you are inside a small wooden boat painted in your favorite color. Golden rays illuminate the far green country, dotted with daisies and wildflowers, and a gentle spring breeze kisses your cheeks. The sweeping hills stretch as far as the eye can see until they become a distant shadow on the horizon. Over to your left is a thick, dense woodland where little birds flit between the trees and the leaves rustle in the wind. On the borders of the forest, you see flashes of animals peeping out to look at you. Deer, foxes, rabbits, and squirrels. There are hedgehogs, badgers, and even one or two owls are beginning to wake up as the sun starts its slow descent. The water is a rich, deep blue, and the banks are lined with mossy rocks, thick twigs, and tall grass that reaches over into the river. Your boat feels sturdy and strong, and you move these oars with a slow and steady rhythm, finding more confidence with each row. As you glide along the tranquil water, it ripples around your boat, creating unique patterns, and gently laps on both banks of the river. This perfect paradise of peace envelops you, and you enjoy the faint rustling of the leaves, the hustle and bustle of the woodland animals, the distant chirps of the birds dancing under the sunset, and the soft, warm spring air that seems to wrap around you like a blanket. You feel a deep and powerful connection to all of the thriving life here, and you cannot help but smile. As you round a long, slow corner, you are greeted by a family of glistening white swans crossing the river, and they radiate an ethereal magic. You know instantly that they are guardians of this world. The mother swan glances in your direction and bows her head low, acknowledging your presence here and letting your boat travel through. It is clear that if you treat this place with love and respect, then you will be richly rewarded, and you will be permitted to venture even deeper into this enchanted countryside. The path of the river flows round to the right and begins to narrow ever so slightly. In front of you now, rising up against the golden red sunset, is a proud and majestic forest. The trees are tall and thick, The leaves are dense, dotted with various shades of green, and through the tunnel of trees, a soft silver glow seems to be calling out to you, drawing you even deeper into this world and lulling you inside the forest. As you enter the gateway of trees, a parliament of brown and white owls swoop above you, welcoming you to their home. A family of otters rests by the river, bathing in the cool water, and their curious little eyes follow you as you pass them by. A chorus of yellow and green fish leap from the water in front of your boat, and they guide you through this forest now, showing you the way. And it's then that you realize you have stopped rowing, and that here you no longer need to. These animals and this thriving natural world will take care of you. All you have to do is lie back and enjoy the ride. This forest is also the home of the Enchantress of the Moon, Elaria. Elaria is the guardian of twilight, the carrier of wisdom, serenity, and healing. She is a direct descendant of the moon gods, but more about them will be uncovered in another story, and her magic is unrivaled in this land. You can feel her presence already, and it acts like a soothing balm to your tired mind, urging you to come closer, young one, and to be at peace. With that, you are drawn into the forest. As you make your way through a collection of tall, thick trees, you can hear a distant lullaby, as if the moon itself is singing to you. A pale blue mist swirls across the forest floor, and your footsteps become lighter. You follow in the direction of the lullaby, stepping through the soft bed of fallen leaves, until eventually you arrive at a small pool where a crystal white waterfall descends. And there, among the misty blue light, you see her, Elaria, Enchantress of the Moon. Elaria orchestrates this sleepy lullaby, and she waves her hand in a slow, sweeping rhythm, conducting the moon and the stars. Her soft eyes, a blend of amber, green, and gold, flick to meet yours, and suddenly it's as if she is speaking to your very soul. Elaria has chosen you tonight to guide through her enchanted garden of dreams and to take you on a journey of rest, recovery, and rejuvenation. She whispers to you that her magic will cleanse your mind, heal your body, and soothe your soul. It is time to let go and trust, child of the earth. You are safe here. The moon is at my command and will be your watchful guardian tonight. Come, take a walk with me. Let us venture into the garden of dreams. With that, she gracefully sways her arm and takes your hand in hers. Her silken gown flows like liquid starlight and is peppered with shimmering silver. Her eyes, pulsing with a new radiance, hold the promise of peace. Your footsteps are no longer felt. Instead, there is the sensation of floating ever so slightly as you feel yourself letting go of all control and surrendering to the magic of the Enchantress. Elaria leads the way now, and you weave through the dense trees, float over the little streams and rivers, and sweep under a series of pure white archways, all the while comforted by the ever-present lullaby, composed by Elaria, but sung by the moon and the stars. Flakes of blossom are drifting past you like a pale pink rain, and as the sun sets behind you, it illuminates this gate like a magical portal, and the sky is basked in purple and gold hues. As you touch the gate, the emerald vines slowly unravel themselves, and you feel a soft hum vibrating through your hand. The latch suddenly unlocks as the gate swings open in perfect symmetry, and an extraordinary tunnel of golden green bamboo comes into view. Already, you can feel that this place is guarded by deep enchantments and ancient wisdom, where secrets of the temples are whispered on the wind, and where finding inner peace is the only path to take. You walk through the gate now, and down a long, thin pathway of bamboo trees. They line up perfectly on each side of you, towering into the air over 15 feet. The tops of the trees curve over and meet in the middle, creating a bamboo tunnel filled with a purple and gold starlight where the sunset pierces the leaves. As you move further through the bamboo grove, you can hear a wonderful symphony rustling through the trees, instantly calming you down and filling the air with a purifying enchantment that is just wonderful to breathe in. There is an undeniable life radiating from the bamboo, and you get the sense that this whole grove is speaking to you, passing on ancient messages from a long-forgotten past. And suddenly, there are memories flicking through your mind, memories that you know are not yours. Brief images greet you now. There are monks meditating around an ancient altar where a crystal blue water fountain flows, surrounded by golden bamboo trees. you see a bright red wooden tea house perched in the middle of a small lake, where inside floating lanterns watch over a religious ceremony of peace and community. There are 4 identical bridges side by side that all pass under one huge waterfall and then spread off into their own miniature gardens. From the forested crossroad, you can see that each garden represents one of the 4 seasons. And finally, you watch a group of old scholars writing scrolls and tomes for future generations. They are passing on the stories and the lessons of old in the hopes that past mistakes are not repeated and past heroics are not forgotten. This rich magic seeps into your soul, and suddenly you feel part of something incredibly poignant and timeless. There is a new appreciation and reverence for this hidden world you find yourself in. Your own thoughts gradually return to you, and you have arrived at the end of the bamboo grove. Far behind you is the white gate, still pulsing with the light of the sunset. But now, in front of you is a beautiful garden, at first an amalgamation of colour and magic, but gradually the details become clearer. You start your journey down a winding stone path that weaves through collections of cherry blossom trees and works its way around a vast blue pond. On the water, lily pads are drifting along in the steady breeze, and 1 or 2 birds are sweeping down for a quick drink before soaring back up into the trees. Under the surface of the water, you notice many nishikigoi, or koi fish, darting to and fro. Their bodies are either a blend of orange, black and white, or a vibrant gold. You dip your hand into the pond and swish it around, just to say hello to the koi fish. And suddenly, a collection of them are swirling around your hand, almost giving your fingers little sunset kisses, welcoming you to their home. In Japan, koi fish represent good fortune, longevity, and perseverance, and those 3 qualities are exactly what fills this garden now. You feel all of it radiating through you: health, strength, courage, and a little bit of good luck. Life here in the garden is endless. It has persevered through so much, and just being here fills your heart with pure joy. As you shuffle through a thick hedgerow, which the giant holds open for you, you arrive at a small clearing, and this part of the forest is unfamiliar to you, but no less magical. There is a collection of pebbles mingled through golden sand and circling a pool of crystal white water. Into the pool flows a mini waterfall arriving from the nearby stream. The pool radiates a soft silver steam that swirls up into the air and seems to be peppered with stardust. And there, resting by the pool, is one of the most beautiful creatures that you have ever seen. The giant puts his arm around you and whispers in your ear, "That there is old Buckbeak, a great hippogriff of the north, and one of the many guardians of this school. One of my oldest friends he is. He tells you that you are one of the very few people to lay eyes on this animal, and better yet, if all goes to plan, you will be one of the only people to ride him. But, the giant insists, you must follow his instructions carefully." You take a deep breath, brimming with excitement, but there is a touch of hesitancy as well, for this animal is large, proud, and undoubtedly strong. Buckbeak's features can be likened to those of a powerful horse crossed with a giant eagle, and just the sight of him leaves you speechless. In the next moment, Buckbeak rears his head and watches your approach carefully. "Wait here," the giant whispers. "It's all right, you're safe. You just need to gain his trust first." You are advised to give a low bow and to stay in that position until the hippogriff returns the gesture. Your giant steps to the side and you follow the instruction, bowing low before the proud Buckbeak. The hippogriff shuffles a little closer, tilting his head with curiosity, and you feel your heart beating as you try to hold your nerve. Buckbeak's hooves scrape the floor, and as your eyes flick up, you notice that this mighty creature has returned the bow, spreading his huge eagle-like wings down to the ground and almost kissing the floor. Relief washes over you as you hear the giant whisper, "Good, very good. Steady now, but you can go and pet him if you like." With slow, methodical steps, you approach the hippogriff. As you advance, Buckbeak stands upright and stares off into the distance, as if showing off his silvery feathers that glisten in the beams of sunlight, taking pride in his majestic form. You place a hand on his big chest and gently stroke his feathers. They are as soft as silk, and they seem to be coated in a shimmering stardust. This creature could have come straight out of a mythology book, but no, Buckbeak is very real indeed, and he seems to be taking quite the liking to you. In the next moment, he drops his head onto your shoulders and wraps one of his wings around you, giving you a nice big hug. With a new confidence, you return the embrace and cradle his head in your arms. "Silly old Buckbeak," your giant says under a chuckle. "He's a big old teddy bear, really, and he's clearly very fond of you." The giant comes over to you now, and before you know it, he has lifted you into the air, announcing that Buckbeak might let you ride him now. The giant places you down on the back of the hippogriff, and you feel your legs being enveloped by the soft feathers as you wrap your arms around his chest. You know now that you will be completely protected, guarded by a sentinel of the school. Your gentle giant gives you a warm hug, reminding you to have fun now and bring him back safely tomorrow, he adds with a wink. Then he pats Buckbeak's hind 3 times and calls out for him to fly free now. Suddenly, this mighty hippogriff is galloping down the dirt track road of the forest, the trees racing by you on either side, creating nature's own runway. He leans back, and you feel yourself lift, becoming utterly weightless. Buckbeak beats his wings, and you glide up through a gap in the trees. And then you emerge. You are met by the heavenly golden glow of sunset bursting over the treetops, coupled with the rolling green hills in the distance. The odd wisps of cloud are tinged with a soft pastel pink, and the turquoise sky seems to swirl in slow motion like a huge pot of paint. You whisper a thank you to Buckbeak, who simply calls out happily and beats his wings gently, keeping the flight smooth. It is so effortless, and if you close your eyes, it's almost as if you are flying all by yourself, gliding with ease. This is the epitome of freedom. You swivel your armchair gently and gaze out of the nearby window. Far below you, nestled under the safety of a huge, overreaching cliff, is a collection of small villages that overlook the ocean. The cottages are huddled together, and their thatched roofs are damp with the shimmering rain. Many of the little windows radiate a soft golden glow, and you can imagine families and friends gathered round the fires, sharing stories or enjoying a hot meal together as the storm rages outside. You have heard it said that these villages are some of the oldest in the world, and these communities go back hundreds of generations. There is something special about this place, this lighthouse, these villages, and the people within. Their lives are intertwined with the earth's elements, and their days dictated by the rhythm of the sea. But this lighthouse has been a constant for them all, a beacon of hope and safety, guiding lost sailors back home and protecting the people of this land. You let the sound of the fire, the rain, and the thunder wash over you, and you allow them to soothe you, to completely clear your thoughts. You take a slow, deep breath in and release any final holding on as you start to sink even deeper into the cushions beneath you. Slowly, you lift the lid of the teapot and allow the aromas to fill the room. This beautiful blend of smells is one that you always associate with these nights in the lighthouse. Nights where the chaotic world outside makes the space within even more precious. You lift the pot and pour yourself a nice steaming cup of tea. Your first sip coats your tongue with the most wonderful concoction of flavors, and instantly you feel your muscles begin to soften. Any remaining tension in your body is dissolving bit by bit as you give yourself over to this beautiful lighthouse and to all of its history, its magic, and its safety. As your gaze meets the rickety old bookshelf, you are filled with a new desire for adventure and mystery. With a big stretch, you reach over to the shelf and trace your fingers over the spines of the books, each one containing its own secrets, stories, and history. The pages are filled with tales of distant worlds, ancient myths, and long-forgotten heroes. You are drawn to a dark green leather-bound book, and there are no clues on the outside as to what this is about. There are no images, and there is no title. The moment you open the first page, you feel as though you are transported to another world entirely. And before you know it, you are 20, 30 pages in, completely transfixed by this enchanting story. The book tells the tale of an ancient kingdom that once thrived at the bottom of the ocean, far beneath the rolling waves. The Mer people dwelt here and lived in harmony with all the creatures of the ocean. Their kingdom was built from deep-sea crystals and would shimmer with radiant sapphire. The tall towers were made from gold, which was mined from the farthest depths of the sea and dotted with shimmering orbs of pearl. The entire city was illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent plants that flourished on the ocean floor. In many other stories, Mer people were depicted as fierce, scary, and unpleasant, but this book tells a very different account. These folk were indeed very wise, and the last known creatures to harbour magic in their blood. They were peaceful and kind, and would use their enchantments to aid the gods. Many moons ago, long before even that old ship wheel was made, the Mer people and the land-dwelling folk formed an ancient alliance. In return for the land-dwellers guarding the coastline, the Mer people would calm the rough seas, ensuring that sailors and adventurers would have safe passage when travelling. Legend has it that the Mer people's greatest companions were the dolphins, whom they used to send messages across the entire ocean. And when the land dwellers embarked on a particularly long voyage, the Mer people would enlist the help of the dolphins to guide the ships through rocky shorelines and difficult straits, or to avoid the destructive whirlpools. The influence of these enchanted peoples travelled far beyond their own kingdom, and was the only bridge connecting the land and the sea, maintaining a perfect balance. Throughout the stories of the Mer people, one figure stands out: the mermaid princess Prophecy. From the pages of the book, you learn that once a year, the princess would leave her underwater kingdom and take human form. Her arrival was signaled by a single wave rising up to the height of the overarching cliff and quickly descending again, as if she was lifted out of the sea. Prophecy would walk along the coast, and the land folk awaited her arrival with bated breath, eager to know what news she would bring. Prophecy harboured the gift of foresight. These were not clear visions, however, but fragments of images and deep feelings within that she would meditate on and try to unravel their meaning. The villagers would gather around her, and under the soft glow of torchlight, she would reveal all that she had seen for the coming year. Prophecy would tell all, the good and the bad, and she would advise the village leaders on their crops and harvests and the changing weather of the seasons. She would also share any other news that the dolphins brought back from around the world. Throughout difficult times, Prophecy's words and guidance were a symbol of hope and a reminder to the landfolk that they were not alone, and that although the sea was often wild, untamable, and dangerous, it was also a beautiful source of life, magic, and adventure. Prophecy has not been seen in these parts for hundreds of years, and nobody knows why. But every year, the villagers below come together and prepare, just in case she decides to return. You allow all of these enchanting images to continue tracing through your mind, painting vivid pictures and filling you with wonder, curiosity, and comfort.